What up, heavy mommies, and welcome to the Cosmic Perspective. I want to talk about a couple things today, and one of them is going to be really silly, so bear with me, but I think it tells a larger story at the same time. So I live in Chicago, for anybody who doesn't know, and in Chicago, the grocery store that I usually end up going to for convenience factor and it being, a walkable distance is Jewel Osco. And for my fellow Floridians, think of Jewel Osco as like a shittier version of Publix, but definitely in the same tier of grocery store. And I swear to God, every fucking time I go to that stupid store, there's never enough workers. And every worker hates their fucking job. They hate their job. And they're always out of bags all the time. Like, they're literally always out of bags. You go to the vegetable aisle, you got to go find like a bag roller like 3 aisles away. Like, it's so annoying. It's never within reach. Like, you want to just grab a piece of broccoli and you look up to the one above you and you're like, it's empty. And it's fucking always empty, and they're never in a rush to fill it. And I want to make sure that people understand that this is not a knock on the employees. It's a knock on the management, because to me, they don't pay their workers enough money. And so I'm not going to bash the workers, because I actually feel like they're being exploited heavily at the store. But it's really frustrating because you can feel that they don't give a fuck about their workers just from like the demeanor of the workers, as well as the fact that they always feel so desperately understaffed. They really do. And so every time I go there, and I will say, I do go there, after work or like in the evening, but I don't always go super late, so it doesn't really, to me, justify the lack of workers, because even if I've gone at like a rush hour period, they still don't have enough workers for the aisles. And almost every fucking time, I end up bagging my own shit. And I think it's so annoying that I go to a place, and this is going to sound so first world, and I totally understand that, but keep in mind, these jobs pay people a living, to some degree. I don't even know if it's fucking a livable wage, but, I go there, and I'm going to check out, and I always have to bag my own groceries. And so I bring my reusable bags and whatever, and so I go through, and I'm going through the checkout line, and there's always just a cashier. There's never a bagger for them. And there should totally be a bagger, like purely from the basis of like process and efficiency. You really just need a bagger there. The cashier's going and scanning and trying to add to it, and they'll eventually bag, but have a dedicated bagger that bags your shit. I just don't think it's that hard. And not to mention, you're paying somebody to make money at least. You're giving somebody an opportunity to make some sort of a living. And I know that that's not anybody's ideal job, but it's a job nonetheless, and it at least pays enough that people can work with it. And so I think that's really frustrating that they never have enough people, and then I'm bagging my own stuff, but like, I'm not getting a discount. I'm not getting any money off for bagging my own stuff and basically doing work for them. This is work that Jewel should be hiring people for, because part of the reason why you go to the grocery store is so that somebody can help you bag your stuff, And then, not to mention, they have these self-checkout things, and I'm not even going to get into self-checkout yet, but like, the self-checkout is literally pure exploitation of us as consumers. I feel like grocery stores are progressively making us do more and more work and cutting out more and more jobs for their own workers, than forcing them to do more work per shift in a way that it's like they're already doing a job that sucks. Like, it's customer facing. You're already having to deal with annoying people all the time. So to put undue stress on the worker and to make them have to deal with that bullshit, like that, it seems anti-worker to me. So that was very frustrating. And this happens literally every time I go. I don't think there's been only a handful of times that they've actually had a bagger, even when the line is fucking like out the door. Like, you got a line of like 7 people all trying to go in this one aisle that's open, because of course none of the other aisles are ever open. It's always like 1 or 2 aisles, and then the 1 or 2 aisles only have the cashiers. So it just feels like capitalism at its worst, just embodied in the grocery store. And then on top of that, they built a new self-checkout area, which then has to be manned by somebody, They have to have somebody there to monitor to make sure people aren't stealing shit. But then the robot always assumes you're stealing shit. The robot always assumes you're stealing shit. And it is fucking frustrating because I bring my own bags, like I said before. So anytime you bring your own bags, you basically confuse this fucking robot. I'm assuming there's some camera system or something that's studying. And I think they also have some sort of weight distribution thing, because if, God forbid, you just place it, like sometimes I bring my backpack or whatever, or I'm just like, I grab something on the way home from work, and I just want to use my own bag. And then I put it on there and it's like, please remove the stuff from the bagging area. Please remove the whatever from the bagging area. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to pack my own fucking bag. I'm trying to save the environment. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to make the world just a little bit cleaner. And this thing responds by basically freaking out that I put anything in the bag area in the first place. Then you scan your shit and then you're just putting it in your bag that you brought. And then it freaks out like, please remove the unscanned item. I'm like, dude, I just scanned this fucking item. What are you talking about? This isn't unscanned. It's like, please remove the unscanned item from the bag area. And it's constantly freaking out, which then guess what? Always results in like one of the workers having to come over, scan their fucking ID badge, and like tell the computer system to chill the fuck out. And this happens constantly. And I'm not the only one. Like, I'm technologically literate. I perfectly know how to navigate scanning and choosing what it is. It's that the system freaks out if you put anything in any spot that's slightly outside of what it expects. And then it's constantly like flagging it. Like it's I think it's trying to just assume that everyone's a thief. And it's like, hey, everybody's a thief. They're always stealing. Assume negative intent constantly. And so then you're constantly having to be like, having to explain to the worker, like, dude, I'm not stealing anything. This thing's stupid. I put this in my own bag and it's just not doing it. And it's so stupid because I'm like, what really freaked it out the last time I had to do this, because of course they didn't have any workers. In fact, they didn't have a single aisle open. And I don't know how the fuck that happened, because my roommate said that he used an aisle right before me. And then by the time I got there, it didn't appear that any aisles were open. They all had the closed sign. There were some workers that were kind of hanging out and talking to each other, but they did not seem like it was open, because I otherwise would have opted for the person, because I know how infuriating the checkout is, the self-checkout. And so I take my full bag now and move it out of the way. And that was like, oh no, you committed the cardinal sin of moving a bag to replace it with another one, because I put then a new bag in that place, the new reusable bag. And then it freaked out until I had to get another worker to come over. And this happened twice. This happened twice in this process. And I'm just trying to check out my groceries. I'm paying for it. I went through the process of doing this and scanning it. Like, you really think I'm going to steal shit at this point? And some people will say, like, people do, and they'll steal one or two things and then buy all the others. Whatever, man. I'm not that person. If I'm going to buy it, I'm just going to fucking buy it. And I hate that it puts zero trust in the customers at all. And that it's always assuming the wrong shit. And it's so easy to like confuse the system. Like, you scan something, you have to weigh it. Sometimes it like doesn't want you to just weigh it. It like wants to get somebody over to make sure that you grab the right fruit or the right vegetable. It's just like, dude, fuck these systems. If you're going to automate something away, do it right. Don't make it this annoying, frustrating process that literally pisses off your consumers every time they have to use it. I mean, I remember when they first rolled that thing out, and it was like every 3 seconds, the lights fucking flash, they draw attention to you. It's also embarrassing, like, because you're like, dude, I'm not doing anything wrong, but this thing is fucking wasting my time. And so then there are other ways that like you can automate things and it's fine, right? So I will say, like, one automation that I know eliminates jobs, but it honestly is better, is the McDonald's ordering system, and really fast food ordering systems in general. It's actually really nice to be able to go into the fast food thing, you press what you want, you order exactly what you want, and then you just get your little thing, your little receipt that has your number on it, and then you just wait for your order to come up. So you still have people working in the back, and they're still doing their thing. And if you want to talk to somebody, you can. But if you don't, and you just kind of want to like get your order in and not deal with any of like the social thing, then that's great. So for the people who are ashamed to eat fast food, like sometimes I am, it's great to not have to tell people, how much of a fat ass I'm going to be on this next order. So it's it's an aggravating thing that literally happens to me every week I go to the grocery store, where there's never enough workers, or I've been subjected to their fucking evil self-checkout system. And I had to talk about it because it's so infuriating. And I know other people are so going to be like, yeah, I've been through that and I fucking hate it too. Because it's stupid. It's so stupid. Okay. I know that was so unimportant and so first world, and I totally understand and appreciate that. But I just wanted to say how mildly infuriating that was, and still is to this day.